Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Fluent English Journey. I'm Tom, and today I've prepared something special, an episode designed especially for upper intermediate learners. That means those of you who can already express yourself in English but are hungry for the next level. Fluency, independence, and real confidence. But here's the surprise, what you think you need most might actually be holding you back. And I'm glad you're here, because today we're tackling a challenge that so many learners face. Maybe even you. It's the strong belief that to finally become fluent in English, you must have a speaking partner. Have you thought this before? Something like, if only I had a native speaker to practice with every day, then I'd really speak English well. It sounds logical, doesn't it? Language is communication. So it feels natural to think you need another person on the other side of the conversation. But in a few minutes, I'll show you why that belief can secretly slow you down. But here's the truth. That belief is a misconception. A misconception simply means a mistaken idea, a false assumption. And this particular misconception has held back thousands of learners. It has disappointed thousands more. Because the truth is, you do not need a speaking partner to improve your fluency. You don't need someone on the other side of the screen every single day. In fact, you can develop fluency completely on your own. And in some ways, independent practice is even more powerful because you decide the pace, the topic, the focus. You're not waiting for anyone else. Imagine waiting for the perfect partner for years, while someone else builds fluency daily, all alone. Why traditional methods fall short. Now, let's pause for a moment. Why do so many traditional methods fail learners, especially those practicing alone? Think about it. Maybe you've attended a language class with 20 students. You sat for an hour, but when it was your turn, you only spoke for 2 minutes. Not enough. Or maybe you had a speaking partner who was kind and encouraging, but they never corrected your mistakes. So you kept repeating the same errors, day after day, without even noticing. Or maybe you relied on the occasional online chat with someone abroad. Nice for the moment, but not nearly enough repetition to actually grow. All of these methods leave you stuck. Why? Because fluency isn't built with sometimes practice. Fluency is built with consistent speaking. Again and again, every single day until the words roll out naturally without hesitation. Just like in fitness, you don't build muscle with random workouts, but with steady, daily training. The alternative, self-directed practice. So what's the alternative? What's the other path? The answer is self-directed practice. That simply means you take the lead. You become your own guide. You set the pace. And once you do, you can create a fluency system that works every day, without depending on a teacher's schedule or a partner's availability. You can practice anytime, anywhere. And one of the most powerful tools for this is what I call the inner conversation method. And trust me, once you master this, you'll never feel alone when practicing English again. The inner conversation method. Now, don't let the name scare you. It's simple. It just means talk to yourself in English, out loud. Here's how it works. You take the thoughts already in your head, the ones you normally keep silent, and you give them a voice in English. For example, imagine you're cooking breakfast. Normally, you'd crack the eggs in silence. But with the inner conversation method, you narrate your actions. I'm cracking the eggs. The pan is heating up. I think I'll add some cheese. See? You're turning your daily life into a story. You're bringing your inner thoughts to life in English. And every time you do this, you're training your brain to think directly in English instead of translating. That's the secret. You stop waiting for practice opportunities and start living them. Responding to content. Another way to practice is by talking back to content. Let's say you're watching a news video or a YouTube clip. Don't just sit there and absorb the information passively. That's too easy. Instead, imagine the presenter suddenly turned to you and asked, "What do you think?" Now respond out loud. "Well, I don't completely agree with that. From my point of view, the situation is more complicated." This transforms passive listening into active speaking. You're simulating a dialogue. And even though it isn't real, your brain doesn't care. It's still practicing quick responses, just like in an actual conversation. And remember, your brain only grows when you use English, not just when you hear it. Self-dialogues. And then there's my favorite, self-dialogues. This is where you play both sides of a conversation. Yes, I know it feels unusual at first, but trust me, it works beautifully. Let's say you want to practice explaining a movie. You could start, so, the main character wants to escape the city, but he doesn't have enough money. Then switch roles. Oh, really? So how does he plan to solve that problem? And back again. Well, he decides to. Do you see? You're not just practicing sentences, you're practicing the flow of a real conversation, the back and forth, the rhythm of dialogue. And once you can play both roles, real conversations will feel 10 times easier. Technology and the power of practice. By rehearsing both sides of a dialogue, you practice the natural rhythm of English conversation without ever needing a partner. And today, technology makes this even easier. Think about it. We now have AI conversation partners like ChatGPT. Imagine it's midnight and you suddenly feel like practicing how to order food in a restaurant. With AI, you don't have to wait for tomorrow's class or schedule a session. You can practice instantly, anytime, anywhere. And there's more. Many modern apps now offer personalized learning paths. Personalized simply means designed just for you. These systems can analyze your progress and recommend exactly what to practice next. That way, you don't waste energy repeating what you already know. Instead, you focus on the areas that actually push you forward. In a minute, I'll show you how to put this all into a daily system. Your daily fluency blueprint. Now, let's talk about something very practical, your daily fluency blueprint. A blueprint is like a plan, a design you can follow every single day. And the good news is, your plan doesn't have to be complicated. Even 15 minutes a day of focused, consistent practice can transform your fluency over time. Transform means to change, usually in a big and positive way. Think about physical exercise. You don't get strong by going to the gym once for 3 hours and then quitting. You build strength by training a little regularly over weeks and months. The same principle applies to English. Here's a simple routine you can try. Morning. Narrate your actions out loud. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm choosing what to wear today. Afternoon. Listen to a short podcast or video, then talk back to it. Add your opinion. I don't completely agree. From my point of view. Evening. Practice a quick self-dialogue. Pretend you're telling someone about your day. First, I did this. Then I had to do that. That's 3 speaking moments in a single day without needing anyone else. And if you follow this, you'll get more speaking time than in most traditional classes. Track your progress. And here's a powerful tip. Track your progress. Tracking means keeping a record of what you do. For example, record your voice once a week. In the beginning, you'll notice mistakes. That's normal. But after weeks and months, when you listen back, you'll hear clear progress. And that progress will motivate you to keep going. Just like watching muscles grow in the mirror, your voice recordings will show the results of your practice. Long-term vision. Fluency isn't something you reach in one giant leap. It's something you construct step by step, like building a house, brick by brick, word by word, sentence by sentence. If you keep showing up daily, even with small efforts, you will build something permanent, powerful, and unshakable. And if you don't, you risk building nothing but wishes. So let's return to the central question of today's episode. Do you really need a partner to practice English every day? The answer is no. You can absolutely unlock fluency on your own. What you need are the right methods, like the inner conversation method, self-dialogues, and daily narration. You need the right tools like AI conversation partners and personalized apps. And above all, you need consistency and a clear vision of where you're going. Final challenge. Remember this. Every single time you speak out loud in English, you're strengthening your fluency muscle. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait for a partner. You already have everything you need to begin right now. So here's my challenge to you. Right after this episode, speak out loud. If you don't agree with something I said, say it out loud. That's perfectly fine. Or summarize the key ideas in your own words. Or narrate the very next thing you do. Start your solo fluency journey now, because the best partner you could ever have is actually yourself. And the more you do this, the less you'll depend on anyone else. Reveal until one day you realize you're fluent. Closing. Thank you, my friends, for joining me today on Fluent English Journey. I'm Tom, and as always, I want to remind you, keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. What's the first self-practice technique you'll try today? Subscribe now, because in the next episode I'll show you how to turn solo practice into natural confidence in real conversations.